Chapter 8. Steve Warwick headed his white company pickup away from the river and up the hill toward the Trans-Canada. He still did not hurry. Usually, on a Sunday, Steve would stop at his house in Whitefish and watch some NFL football before driving to Coppercliff and booking off. He resented that this intruder had interrupted that routine. The truck scooted along Highway 17 and then onto Ella Road. This route would take longer to get to Turbine and onto High Falls. Despite missing the ball game, delay suited Steve. He did not want to have to confront anyone, especially what was probably a harmless old man. Fall color splashed everywhere. Steve loved his job in summer and fall, winter not so much, and he slowed to savor the beauty. He let the fall fragrance blow through open cab windows, making the most of this diversion. Why did that old man have to turn up on a Sunday, Steve thought. Crack! Something snapped, a dry stick among the scrub oaks up the hill. Movement. Uh-oh. That's a bear, said Donnie. Too calm, Mo thought. Come with me. Donnie clasped Mo's hand and drew him back along the little dam, trying not to slip on the wet moss. To the valve house, Donnie exclaimed. They hurried. Mo wanted to run, but his old body would have let him down, and he likely would never have made it. Behind them, the sounds grew louder, with a snort thrown in to encourage their flight. The bear did not seem to be in a hurry. Mo struggled up the little rock spur and crawled under the meter to the top. Then down across a slight gully, smoother but overgrown with dead stalks of that shiny grass and stunted sumac. Red droops of sumac seeds slapped at him as he hurried. That left hip threatened to give out. It seemed the beast followed their scent to the rickety steps, up, through the doorway. Donnie struggled against the decayed remnants of the door. Mo added his weight, and the rusted dry hinges protested in one long squeak. Mo thought they might break off. The door seemed too flimsy to stop a mouse. I hope the bear didn't hear that, Mo's heart hammered. Donnie looked scared. That ought to work. Mo pushed hard against the closed door to divert his fear. It suddenly seemed stronger. Maybe as strong as when I was a kid, but not bear strong. Mo frowned. Maybe the squeak scared him. Donnie grasped at the hopeful idea. The concrete will stop it anyway. Mo trembled. The old fears and cautions came back. Every time they wandered the bush and hills, they always had an ear for animals, especially bear. There were more bear around now, an excellent result of an intelligent hunting, and in this place the demise of the town. Mo had only ever seen one when he was alone and on foot. He had been at the swimming hole, and it was hundreds of meters and a river away, but still a thrill. His heart had raced then. He had seen the animals from the safety of a car. Once at High Falls Dump, a favorite place for a scavenging bear, and the hunters who were too lazy or too stupid to track one and give it to a fighting chance. Another time, Gillis McLennan had been trying to photograph one from a pile of pine slabs that Chick Dunn had left along the back road. That was the time Mo learned that the idea of actually outrunning a bear would likely end badly. The beast had disappeared in a flash. This bear was close, as if all his fearful imaginings as a child had come to life. However, the pursuer today behaved much more leisurely. Not angry or hungry, but perhaps curious. I've never seen one before, said Donnie. We ought to be safe. They eat berries, not people. That's the theory. Mo tried to smile. Don't go near that hole in the floor, Mo cautioned. It had always been a mysterious and scary. If they had ever fallen into that shaft, they might never get out. Shh! Scuffling and sniffling came from outside. The stairs rattled and cracked. Mo peeked through the crack in the door jamb but could see nothing. More scuffling. Sounds like a big puppy. Reached out and pet it. Donnie sounded as if he meant it. You're a bad influence, Mo chuckled and rubbed Donnie's brush-cut hair. Just like you, the boy smirked. Mo somehow felt relieved to have someone with him. He had usually felt alone when facing a crisis. Are the sounds going away? Mo wanted to open the door, but was cautious. He's going down the hill to the big pond, said Donnie. I wonder where. Let me look. Donnie grabbed the door handle before Mo could stop him. Steve Warwick pulled the truck over and stopped to watch a grouse wandering on the road ahead. It was pecking up grit for digestion. He could hear the birds peep above the engine noise. It looked like a female chatting away with an unseen partner in the yellowing ferns. Steve was glad he did not have his 16 gauge. He would have shot the bird instead of enjoying it. The grouse disappeared into the roadside brush, and Steve drove off in a cloud of dust and a throaty diesel engine chatter. Downhill past the little hayfield where the whitetails often browsed, around the sweeping curve and past the new bungalow towards the bridge on the Beaver Lake Road. He faced a short drive up the grade to the regional road that paralleled the railway line. A poem, The End to My Hunting. I feel the sunlight warm against these corroding autumn hills, the leaves brilliant and dying, cooling winds sneaking amongst the rocks, felling the corpses of summer. Stuffy damp, this decaying deadfall, where I sit, a proud pine before the fire. The gun, 20 gauge, but grown heavy, now broken, lying mutely against my perch. Laminar trails of smoke drifting downwind, away to nothingness from my blasted briar. From below, where the broad basin half-mile square spreads out, brimmed harshly with grey northern granite, the echo drums upon both my ears. A grouse calling his mate, I have shot. Donnie pulled the protesting door inwards. It had reverted to the almost rotted barrier, and it fell apart in his hands. Big chunks toppled onto him and before bouncing with a crash to the floor. That option is gone. Mo tried to be light-hearted for the boy's sake. Donnie dusted himself off. Mo struck his head out the gaping opening. He could not see a bear. Good move, Donnie. Mo sounded sarcastic. You scared him off. I always thought. Mo stepped into the sunshine. That jumble of rocks near the blueberry patch at number 2 form a good bear's cave. We used to crawl around in there. I remember I stayed there until almost July. Maybe it's checking out this winter house. It's almost time to hibernate. His food has run out. He looked fat, said Donnie. We could hardly see it, replied Mo. Well, it should have been fat, Donnie insisted. Let's go. The bear might not like the doorbell down there. Mo laughed loudly and nervously. Or he wants a bedtime snack. Donnie looked up at Mo as if the boy were taking mental notes, his face quizzical. What's the matter? Mo chuckled. Don't you like my joke? Learn not to take life too seriously. Take risks. I'm scared to take risks most of the time, and I don't like people teasing me. Donnie's face clouded. Or bears chasing me. Yeah, it's a hard lesson to learn. Mo's smile faded at the memory of pain. They hurried back to the road through the rocks and up the grade to the main Big Eddy Road. Mo stopped and gasped for breath. It had been years since he had demanded so much from his body. The scare from the bear had pumped more adrenaline into him than he usually endured. The animal was still around, somewhere. More than being glad to distance himself from the bear, Mo happily left the desolate industrial vista of his destroyed childhood playground. Another one gone, he thought. The pickup truck eased up the grade towards the Spanish River Road. It used to be Old Highway 17 before they built the new Trans-Canada in the 50s. Steve was too young to remember any of the detail. He had known nothing of the Spanish River Valley before he took this job. A Sudbury City boy, he had always hunted up towards Gogama. Steve stopped and looked west. The region did not maintain the road too well in that direction, while more people and company traffic made things better to the east. He eased out onto the crumbling old asphalt. I would have been better if they'd left it gravel and just graded the damn thing. It's better than some of those old logging roads I hunt. Steve had the same thought every time he drove this bit of his way to High Falls. Mo forced himself to walk away from the gap, on towards the dam. The bear would take care of itself. A building of unknown purpose occupied the big flat area on the hillside of the road, backed by trees that went up the slope towards the summit. They had dug dirt, maybe gravel, out of there to build the rail line on the dam and powerhouse 100 years before. It had remained a scrub-filled place when he was young, directly below the Blueberry Hill, but the trees now obscured the rocky peak. In the 1960s, Mo had helped build a radio transmitter at the crown of the hill, and a cleared line had run up the road to the summit. They had dismantled it when progress developed better ways to communicate over power lines. He saw no sign of the cut in the trees for the line, and in 1995, the last time he'd been to the top, the small shack they had built on top for the shortwave radio had disappeared without a trace. Nature claims its own, eventually. Donnie led the way around the gentle curve, past more buildings that had been an obscure purpose, and towards a jagged rock cut. I remember when the log drives used a bunkhouse here. They tore it down in the 60s after they stopped the pulpwood drive. I always hope I can get inside. Maybe the cook has something. He gives me raisin pie at the old camp of tents down by the water. Donnie lingered. That was in the 50s, said Mo. The raisin pie was good. I was a little afraid of those cows. Now I know they were nice. Mum worries about strangers, Donnie frowned. Yes, my mum was born here, replied Mo. She had an aversion to strangers. I caught it a bit, but I'm comfortable with people when I get to know them, like those loggers on the work crews. I like them. The men on the big truck working on the poles are funny. I think they all have kids, too. A few meters later, Mo froze, overwhelmed by a long-ago feeling. Perhaps the yellow September sunshine had reminded him. One evening, long ago, the whole family had taken a walk up this way on a gentle August evening. He remembered Dad, Mum, John, Beth, all had been together. Mo looked at the rock cut, to the tree-covered hill to the north, and through the lower bush to where the forebay was barely visible. Here, he thought. Here. Donnie, said Mo, at this spot right here was the happiest moment of my life. The only time I can remember when I felt truly happy and totally safe. The whole family was here. It was as if the evening just wrapped me in happiness. I know, said Donnie. Me too. Mo took Donnie's hand and stood quietly for a long time. A tear trickled down. Today the sun warmed his back. That August evening the sun had been in their eyes. How many times in my memory, he wondered, how many times have I remembered being here in that warm evening and felt healed? How many times in my life when I felt hurt, alone, confused, ignored, or lost, did this place comfort me? Mo looked around once more. The whole place, the warm, safe valley, healed him. He could not remember how many times he had stood in this place, in memory. Whatever gale in life attacked him, at that moment he had felt okay.